The Backrooms Kidnapping Case. I went missing for 7 minutes. I didn't mean to disappear. One moment I was running down the empty school hallway, and the next, the floor under me folded like paper. I fell straight through it. I didn't land on the ground. I didn't land on anything. I dropped into a huge, yellow, endless room that hummed like 1,000 broken lights. The air smelled like wet carpet. The buzzing in my ears grew louder and louder. And worst of all, someone was running behind me. Their footsteps were heavy. Too heavy to be human. Every time they stepped, the floor shook. I didn't look back. I couldn't. I knew if I turned around, I would see its face, the thing that took me. I tried to scream, but my voice didn't come out. The buzzing swallowed every sound. Then, suddenly, the footsteps stopped. Silence. I turned my head slowly. And that was when I saw it. Standing right behind me. Smiling. Its mouth stretched too wide, like it was tearing its own face open. Then something grabbed my leg and dragged me deeper into the yellow darkness. I thought that was the end of me. But it wasn't. Cliffhanger. Story now goes to the beginning. How everything started. People say strange things happen in my school, but I always thought they were lying for fun. Kids at Redway Middle School love telling scary stories: ghosts in the stairwell, monsters in the gym, weird shadows in the bathroom mirror. But the one story everyone whispered about was the missing 7. 7 kids over the last 5 years disappeared for exactly 7 minutes during school hours, then came back acting strange. Some never spoke again. Some refused to walk down certain hallways. Some transferred schools without explanation. Teachers denied the missing minutes ever happened. Parents called it childish imagination. But kids don't lie about fear. You can see real fear in someone's eyes. And on that day, people would see it in mine. The day started normal. It was a Wednesday, same boring classes, same noisy students, same smell of chalk dust and fried rice from the cafeteria. The only weird thing was that I kept hearing a strange buzzing sound in the hallways. At first I thought it was the lights. But when the lights were off, I still heard it. A low, soft hum that followed me like a shadow. At lunchtime, my best friend Maya said, "Maybe you're getting sick. Or maybe you're next." "Next for what?" I laughed. She didn't laugh back. "You know what?" I rolled my eyes and told her to stop being creepy. But even while we talked, the buzzing sound grew louder. It felt like it was coming from inside the walls. Or under the floor. After school ended, I had to run back to the hallway because I forgot my math notebook in my locker. The entire building felt too quiet. Too empty. The buzzing was louder now, almost shaking the air. I should have left. I should have ignored the notebook. I should have gone home. But I didn't. The hallway lights flickered. The floor under my shoes felt soft, like it wasn't solid anymore. I looked around, but nothing looked wrong. Still, I felt something was watching me. When I reached my locker and opened it, the buzzing inside became sharp and angry, like hundreds of insects were trapped inside the metal door. I slammed it shut. And that was when I heard it. A heavy, slow footstep behind me. I froze. Another step. Closer. Another. Even closer. "And Maya?" I whispered. No answer. I turned around. Then suddenly. Thud. I landed on a soft, wet carpet. I opened my eyes and saw it again. The yellow, the endless yellow. Dirty yellow walls. Dirty yellow lights. Dirty yellow carpet. Buzzing everywhere. Loud enough to make my bones vibrate. I pushed myself up slowly. The air smelled like old mop water. And the hum was so loud that I wanted to cover my ears, but it didn't help. The sound felt like it was crawling inside my head. I turned around, hoping, praying, that the doorway back to the school was still open. But there was nothing. Just another yellow wall. No door. No zipper. No way out. My heart started beating fast. My hands were shaking. I kept telling myself, This is a dream. This is a prank. This isn't real. But then I heard it. A low, deep breathing. Slow and heavy. Right around the corner. I pressed my back against the wall. I didn't want to look. I didn't want to see what was breathing like that. Whatever it wasn't small. The breaths were long, like the thing had huge lungs. I knew I had two choices. Look, and maybe get caught. Or run, and maybe get lost forever. I chose to run. I sprinted down the hallway, not caring where it led. The lights flickered as I moved, making everything flash white, then yellow, then white again. The carpet squished under my feet like it was soaked with something. I didn't look back. Not until I heard the footsteps. Boom. 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 Slow. Heavy. Shaking the ground. Just like before at school. I stopped breathing. It was following me. I turned my head slightly, and I saw its shadow stretching across the wall. Long. Bending. Twisted. Wrong. It wasn't shaped like a normal person. One of its arms touched the floor. The other dragged across the wall. Its neck was too long. Its legs were too thin. The shadow moved. Toward me. I took off running again, heart pounding, legs burning. My breath came out in short gasps. Every time my foot hit the floor, the carpet made a sick, squishy sound. I turned left. Another hallway. Right. Another hallway. Straight. More yellow forever. The place didn't make sense. It felt like the hallways were changing behind me. Like it was alive. Soon, the footsteps slowed. And then, they stopped. I collapsed against a corner, chest heaving. Sweat dripped down my forehead. I listened. Nothing. No breathing. No footsteps. Just a buzzing. A small moment of silence. A small moment of hope. That was the low moment, the calm before the next terror. I stood up shakily and forced myself to follow a narrow hallway ahead. At the end of it, I saw something different. A door. A real door. Not yellow like everything else, but white, with a silver handle. It looked clean. New. Almost glowing under the buzzing lights. My heart jumped. A way out. Maybe someone was behind it. Maybe it led back home. I reached for the handle with shaking fingers. I turned it slowly. The door opened with a soft click. I stepped inside. And then I froze. The room wasn't empty. There was a table. A small lamp. And on the table, my school notebook. The one I had left in my locker. It was open. And a message was written inside in big, messy letters. You should not have come here. Then a cold breath blew against the back of my neck. Extreme ending for Chapter 2. A tall, twisted shadow stretched across the wall in front of me, and slowly began rising behind me, like something huge was standing up right behind my back. The shadow on the wall stretched taller, until its long, bending arms reached the ceiling. Its head was shaped wrong, too thin, too narrow, like someone had pulled it upward by the skull. My whole body shook. Don't turn around. Every part of my brain screamed it. But the cold breath moved closer, and closer, until I could feel something hovering inches behind me. I squeezed my eyes shut. Then, a heavy, slow tap landed on my shoulder. My heart almost exploded. I spun around without thinking. But there was nothing there. Nothing behind me. Nothing touching me. Just the buzzing lights and the yellow walls. I backed up fast, pressing myself to the far corner of the room. The shadow on the wall was gone, like it had never existed. But the notebook on the table was still open, and now more words had appeared under the first message. Words that I definitely did not write. Run while you still can. My hands shook as I picked up the notebook. The letters looked rushed, sharp, messy, almost like they were scratched into the paper with something hard. I backed toward the door, clutching the notebook against my chest. But before I reached the hallway, I heard something behind me. A dragging sound. Slow. Heavy. Scraping across the carpet. I turned my head a little. The room was empty, until the lamp on the table flickered. Then I saw it. A shape. Crawling out from under the table. Long arms. Long fingers dragging behind it. A face with no eyes, only a stretched, shaking grin that didn't move with the rest of its head. It was looking at me. Even without eyes, it was looking right at me. I didn't wait. I ran. Out the door. Into the hallway. The buzzing grew louder, angrier, like the entire place was shaking. I didn't look back. I didn't want to see how close it was. My feet slapped across the carpet as I sprinted around corner after corner. The air got hotter. The lights flickered faster. My legs burned. Then I tripped. I fell forward and hit the floor hard. The notebook flew out of my hand and slid across the hallway. Pain shot through my knee. I tried to stand, but a sharp cramp stopped me. And that's when I heard it. Click. 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 The creature's long nails tapping the ground, getting closer. I crawled toward the notebook. If I could grab it, maybe I could use it again, maybe the messages could help me. My fingertips touched the cover just as another sound echoed behind me. A growl. Deep. Wet. Hungry. I slowly lifted my head and looked down the hallway. The creature was standing on two legs now. Stretching. Growing taller, neck cracking loudly. Its grin spread wider until its mouth reached the sides of its head. It took one step. Then another. Faster. Faster. I pushed myself up and limped away. Every step hurt, but fear made me move anyway. The hallway ahead split into 3 paths, left, right, and straight. I didn't know which one to choose. Behind me, the creature screamed. A horrible sound like metal scraping against metal mixed with a human cry. It ran toward me, long fingers dragging on the walls. I panicked and chose the middle hallway. The buzzing vanished. Everything became silent. Too silent. The air didn't move. The lights didn't hum. My footsteps made no sound on the carpet. It felt like stepping into a vacuum, like the world had muted itself. I slowed down. The quiet was worse than the noise. Even my own breathing sounded wrong, like it wasn't mine. Then I noticed something else. This hallway wasn't yellow. It was gray. Plain gray walls. Plain gray carpet. Plain gray ceiling. No stains. No flickering lights. No shadows. It felt cleaner, newer, safer. Or at least I thought it was. I took a deep breath, trying to calm my shaking hands. Maybe this was another level of the backrooms, maybe a safer one. Maybe someone else was here. Then, at the far end of the hallway, a small door appeared. White. Just like the first one I found. I limped toward it. I touched the handle. The instant my hand made contact, something slammed into the door from the other side. The whole hallway shook. Dust fell from the ceiling. I stumbled backward and stared at the door as it bent inward from the force. Something was behind it. Pushing. Fighting. Trying to break through. I heard a voice whisper from the other side, low, broken, almost human. Let me out. Then the handle began to turn by itself. Slowly.